right, so that word forces in the Hebrew is chayal. All right, chayal, which means strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army, strength, ability, efficiency, wealth. All right, so they're gonna bring in their wealth onto us. All right, that's why our doors are gonna be continually open and not gonna be shut day nor night, so they can bring in their substance, their strength, their might, their efficiency, their wealth. All those things are going to be given to us. All right. Now, if you go further down, right, you see, let's see, riches, wealth, right here in Strong's. The KJV translation count, right? It says strength, riches, wealth, power, substance. All right. See. Yeah, that's it on that. But yeah, pretty much substance and power and wealth, all that's going to be given to us, man. All right. And we're not going to ask for it. All right. These other nations are going to be willingly bringing that to us. All right, because they're also going to be happy that we're in rulership. They're going to be happy that we're going to be back in rulership, ruling with a rod of iron under our Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right. So yeah, of course they're going to be willing to bring that to us, because they know that once we come back into rulership, we're going to rule the whole planet Earth in righteousness once again, man. All right. That way that all these other nations will have their own inheritance, their own lands, and the earth can be rejuvenated to where these people can live once again, man. All right, under the rulership of the people of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, which is the nation of Israel. All right. Now, going on from there, I want to get the book of Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 17, it says, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and vanity. All right. You know what vanity means? Vanity is something that's worthless. All right. So these other nations are worthless to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, and he counts them less than nothing, and vanity. All right. Nothing is bad enough, but when you see something that's less than nothing, then that's like saying that you really want them gone, man. You want them to be destroyed. You don't even want them around you. All right. You don't even want to think about them. That's how Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai feels about these other nations. And then you got these so-called Christians and these false pastors and leaders in churches tell you that the Most High loves everybody. And you got plenty of scriptures that tell you that the Most High does not give. You gotta excuse my French. He doesn't give two damns or a fuck about these other nations, man. All right. And this is the scripture that shows you. Now I'm gonna grab the next precept and I'm gonna close it on out. This is 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, in the 54th verse. It says, and after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, which is who? Israel. All right. That's the bloodline. That's the lineage that the Lord has chosen to assert rulership and to give them the dominion and have them to live in pleasure on earth, man. Because when you go back to the book of Genesis, right? This whole the whole planet Earth, which was once one landmass before it got separated, was called Eden. All right. And then you had a garden that was planted eastward in Eden. That's where Adam was. All right. And that word Eden in the Hebrew means Aidan, which means paradise. All right. A paradise is pretty much just a place of pleasure, man. Place to relax, to enjoy. The earth is made for our enjoyment. All right. And that's gonna that's going to be brought back to that status, to where the earth can be enjoyable to us once again. All right. We won't have to look over our shoulders, for fear of danger, because we're going to be back in righteousness. All right. And Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to fight for us forever. All right. It's going to be everlasting rulership, man. We're never going to be taken back into captivity ever again, pursuant to the scriptures. All right. Now, Renun says, it's like I'm just parking. Verse 55 says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. See, the Lord made the world for our sakes. All right. He made it for the sake of Israel, which is Yasha Allah in the Hebrew, which means he is a prince of power. That's the reason why the Lord made the world for our sakes. All right. Because like I mentioned before, it's that lineage that the Lord has chosen, man. The other nations, they have their part in the planet Earth, man. But what the Lord, his eyes are on Israel. All right. His eyes are continually on Israel. Even look at, even today, from the ancient world to today, man, the Lord's eyes has always been on Jerusalem. And that's where our people used to live. All right. I believe you go to the book of the Kings about Solomon, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's in the book of the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, where it speaks about the eyes of the Lord being upon Jerusalem. But that's where his eyes are set on, man. Okay. Now, verse 56 says, as for the other people, which also come of Adam. See, so now it's saying, as for the other people that come out of Adam, right? Thou hast said that they are nothing. All right. The other nations. All right. Contrary to popular belief, to what these other people saying, that the Lord loves everybody and that he's going to save everybody. This is how he feels. He said, thou hast said that they are nothing, pursuing unto the same scripture which I just read in Isaiah the 40th chapter, where it says he count them as less than nothing. All right. You want to get to the nitty gritty, go to the Isaiah the 40th chapter, and it tells you that he counts them as less than nothing and vanity. All right. But this is how he also feels. He said, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. All right. Something that basically spittle, you spit on the ground and you step on it and you rub it out, man. And you don't care anything for that spit that you just spat on the ground, man. All right. You step on it, you rub it out, and you keep it moving. Just like in the same scripture in Isaiah the 40th chapter, where he says he count the nations as less than nothing. If you read a few verses up, he said he counts the nations as a drop of a bucket. All right. Now, if you drop some water out of that bucket, right? If it's like a small drip of water that comes out of that bucket, are you gonna go back for that drip of water that came out of that bucket just to put it back in the bucket? No, you're not. You're gonna keep it moving. You're going to carry the rest of that water in that bucket, man. You don't care nothing about that drop. All right. But once again, it said, but be like unto spittle. And that's like in the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. See? So it's reiterating what it said earlier in Isaiah the 40th chapter. All right. He said he has likened the abundance of them, talking about the other nations, unto a drop that falleth from a vessel out of like a vase or a bucket. Right. Now I'm gonna go back to Isaiah the 40th chapter, right? And I'm gonna get the let's see, Slacky. Isaiah the 40th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 15. Said, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket. See, now it says the same thing. It says, and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. Right? Which I just mentioned earlier about that drop that come out of a bucket. But he also said that they are counted as a small dust of a balance. Like a speck of dust. All right. You ever see those little strands of dust that fly in the air? All right. Imagine that fall on a balance, right? Is that balance going to move? Is that balance going to move 1 inch if that small strand of dust fall on that balance? No, it's not. All right. It's not going to move. So, and all it takes for that small dust to get off the balance is just a small breeze, a small blow. That's all it takes. And that balance is not going to be affected by that small dust. And that's how the Lord feels about these other nations. That's why they're gonna be under servitude under us, and they're gonna serve us continually, hand and foot. All right, and they're gonna be happy with that. They're gonna be happy with being under servitude under us, man. They're gonna be happy being slaves under us. All right, that's gonna be their new life. The life that they used to know, they're gonna put that away, and they're gonna serve us, and they're gonna have to follow after our ways. All right. Now, I want to grab one last precept. I'm going to close it on out. Slack here. Zechariah, the 14th chapter. And verse 16, it says, "And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, which is Yahushai, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles." See, so even the nations that are left, the ones that came up against Jerusalem, which all these nations came up against us, all right, which I like to say once again, they're going to come up from year to year to worship the King, Yahushai, all right, and they're going to follow after our ways. Verse 17 says, "And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King." So if a nation, all right, or people do not come up to worship the King, Yahushai, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. All right, what's that mean? A famine. All right, what happens when you don't have any rain? Your crops start to dry out and you have no food. All right, you have no resources. You can't even feed your livestock, because that food or that greenery that you had is not for growing. So your cattle starts to die. And then that causes even more sequence of events to where you have no water. All right. And the Lord is going to let you die of a famine. All right. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care if you die of a famine, man. Look at what he did almost did to Israel. He almost did away with Israel. All right, but but Moses pleaded with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, told him not to destroy the whole nation of Israel for his word's sake. All right, the Lord could have done away with all Israel and made Moses a nation if he wanted to, but he didn't do it, because that promise that he made with Abraham and Isaac unto Jacob, that had to be fulfilled. All right. Because the Lord himself is bound by his word. All right. Even Moses, tell you, man, Moses, when he came up to the Lord, said, "Look, you remember when you say you gave a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? If you just do away with them, that'll make your word null and void." So the Lord didn't do that because, hey, he was bounded by, he gave his word and he's bounded by it, man. He can't transgress his own word. All right. Now, verse 18 says, "If the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain," right? So even if the Lord has given a harsh famine unto that nation, and they still refuse to come worship the King Yahushai, guess what? It said, "There shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles." All right. So that's a done deal, man. If you don't come to worship the King, you don't follow after what we do, then guess what? We're just gonna kill you off. All right. And that's a death threat by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, who these people inwardly call God and Jesus. All right. But that pretty much wraps up this video and this lesson. It went on longer than what I thought it would, but that's the spirit, man. Spirit was hot on me today concerning this topic, because these other nations, they walking around scot-free, act like they haven't done anything wrong. Like, they're just having no cares in the world about what's to come. But they're going to know pretty soon that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to lay the smack down on these other nations, man. They're going to know that the ones that was least sought after are going to be rulers over them, man. And they're going to respect us, man. All right. they're going to give us our just due respect that we deserve from these other nations, man. All right. So with that pretty much wraps up this video. Once again, Lord's will, you members of the Whole Elect were edified by this video. Till next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Raha, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well. Shalom to the Whole Elect. Peace and safety, salutations to the Whole Elect. There's also labor in his work. It's giving it your all in his work, man, his ministry, all right, in his labor of love. And with that, I'll go say Shalom.